Welcome to this week's episode of the Edges and Sledges Cricket Podcast. I've got with me DJ, who's in India and seeming to have watched a lot more of the games this week. DJ, how are you feeling? Are you finally in the IPL season? Because it takes me a lot to get that IPL excitement out of you.
No, I'm definitely in the IPL season. Of course, Delhi have just put their first win on the board. Hopefully, it's not the only win of the season. MS Dhoni has played a cameo from, 2005 with the long hair. The IPL has come alive, man. Like, it's a great week for it. I'm really looking forward to the next week of it and chatting through what happened in the last week with you. So let's go.
And just for the record, we're recording on Monday morning. So we've finished the entire week's matches. We'll start off from the Monday game. And obviously the intention is not to run through the scorecard, but there's a lot of social media chatter that's happened. There's a lot of great on-field performances. So we're just going to try and cover as much as we can because it is, I think, like 5, 7, 8 matches to get through. So
yeah, and we'll also cover why Varun takes credit for Hasaranga's injury.
Yeah, dude, he's not playing. Thank God I got saved. For anyone following, they'll know what this is about. But let's get into it, right? So Monday last week was Punjab versus Bangalore. Typically a match which is not going to be a high-profile game, but both teams have never won. Both teams are searching for that playoff position. DJ, for me, Punjab made 176. The real standout was Shiki D, and he seems to be stroking the ball really well for somebody who hasn't played in a while. But the story of the match was Virat Kohli. Faf seems to be getting out very early, and that's not something we're used to, considering I keep trumping him in my fantasy team. And I've not taken Kohli because all the chatters got to me about him being a 120 strike rate person. So I'm like, he's not going to give me points. And then Kohli comes out and hits 77 of 49 balls, 11 fours, 2 sixes. And they win the game in that last over. But yeah, DJ, talk me. I mean, without going into too much detail on the match, talk me through that Kohli piece a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've been putting him as captain of all my games, and I think he may be the orange cap holder right now or not. Maybe not. I don't know. He is, right? So you've got to have faith in the king. He's 100k points to buy him for fantasy, and man, he's been delivering. But what was actually interesting about this innings was I think he got dropped when he was on North. He got dropped once again by Rahul Chahar at mid-wicket. And he didn't finish the job. The job was actually finished by others. But obviously the job got done for the RCB and they put their first points on the board. But what was interesting was the press conference at the end. And usually you don't stick around for that kind of thing. But when Kohli is going to be man of the match, you want to be around to see what happens because there's always a few fireworks. And you see less of him now because he's not captain of RCB. He's not captain of India. So you hear him when he talks about his man of the match performance. And Harsha gave him the orange cap and he's like, I don't care about this. It's only 2 matches in. I want to play stuff to help my team win and all of that. And then he made a very interesting comment about how his name is being used to sell the game in certain parts of the world. And maybe he still got a T20 game. And then, I don't know, you really enjoyed Harsha's response to that.
I did. So I think I was checking with you just before we started. I think BCCI or somebody put out this tweets about how Kohli should go to the T20 World Cup in USA because he's such a brand and his...
I mean, the ICC will have him on all the posters.
Exactly. Right? And there's no doubt about that, right? When Virat Kohli is there versus when he isn't, there's a huge difference. And so they were kind of insinuating that he should be there because his brand name can promote the game in the US. And that was very clear. And then he hits this 77 of 49, gets into the press conference, like you said, and basically has a direct attack on that piece and ends with saying, I think I've still got it. Right? And at that point, I thought this is something to Harsha. And Harsha kind of replies saying, I think you do. I think you do. And just left it there, almost not knowing, first time you're seeing Harsha Bhogle doesn't know what to reply or say. But yeah, look, you can criticize him as much as you want. There's always room for improvement. But when he hits that kind of a knock and they win the game, I don't really think there's any debate, right, DJ? And there is another game where he played a similar knock. So we'll come to that debate as we go on. But overall, I think clearly Kohli stood out in that match as the top performer.
Yeah, and it was a tricky pitch. I mean, it was in Bangalore. It wasn't the easiest pitch to bat on. Everybody said it was a bit up and down. It was a bit too paced. So it wasn't the usual road that the Chinnaswamy lays out to get 220 plays to whatever 210, right? So it was a little bit different. It wasn't the same as usual. But yeah, good knock by King Kohli, and good to see him back in the runs. It was only his second game back, and yeah, he's
And
straight into his work, making his case to go and promote the game in different parts of the world as part of the playing 11. So good luck to him, man.
yeah, and did you see his how he defended Cam Green in the first game and Glenn Maxwell in the second game when he told Jaddu in the first game, "Isko saans lene de," right? Because Jadeja is known for ripping through his overs in like 1.5 minutes, and then Harpreet Brar does the same thing. He's moving fast. So Kohli actually says, "Oh, Joe, isko thoda saans lene de, time. We give him some time." Maxwell starts laughing, and Harpreet Brar gets him bowled the next ball. So
Yeah, but what a spell from that guy, by the way, Harpreet Brar. Also, I think 2 years ago, he bowled a spell which got AB, Kohli, and Maxi.
yeah, dude.
And he's bowled a spell of 2 for 13 in 4 overs.
Yeah, he's
Insane.
just got something with RCB. So that was fun. Always fun to talk about matchups and stuff. But yes, I think the overseas players of RCB need to come alive because they have stacked their batting so heavy with them. And their bowling is weak, which we've discussed and said there's nothing new in that. So unless you're fast...
And they've
green
exported
Maxwell-
Purple Patel to Punjab
Yeah.
also,
Imagine.
who went for 45 in 4 overs.
Which, by the way, I was chatting with one of my friends, and we were like, that guy just had 2 good seasons, and kind of our benchmark is to say if you have 2 good seasons, that shows consistency, right? Because that's across almost 30 games, and he's just fallen off the map. And to think RCB initially kept him and threw Chahal out, and then ultimately had to throw him out. It's convoluted, man. It's hard
Was
to
it
get
just
these-
junk wickets? Was he Junkal Patel?
I think he was Junkal Patel, but he was getting the wickets, right? Like that's the key thing. But yeah, we'll chat a little bit more about him as we go along. So we move to the next game, which is the CSK versus Gujarat game. And here, man, to me, kind of Chennai batted first, and everyone just got going, right? Gaikwad 46. Rachin Ravindra looked awesome. In fact,
Yeah, he
there was a
smashed it.
he was looking great. There was a comment that said Devon Conway, who's probably their highest scorer with Gaikwad in the last few seasons, isn't being missed, right? And that's because Rachin has just come in and slotted straight into that opening slot. But the guy to talk about is Shivam Dube. Now, he, of course, reminds me of Yuvraj with that one knee shot on the ground where he plays that often. He hit 51 of 23, strike rate of 221. Got them to 206 for 6. And Gujarat Titans just kind of never really made a push for it, right? Because Saha, Gill, Vijay Shankar, David Miller, nobody got going. Everyone was single digit or early 20s. But DJ, talk to me about Shivam Dube, right? He's the name on a lot of our minds. He's the name where a lot of people are also questioning why is Dhoni / Gaikwad not bowling him, because fans are looking at him as somebody who should be in that playing 11, right? So talk to me a little bit about Shivam Dube.
Yeah, so I think Dube is coming back from injury. So that's one thing to remember. He's coming back from injury during the domestic season. He's clearly the designated spin hitter for the CSK. And man, he's doing a job when it comes to that. And he's worked on his back foot play, because I think they did attack him a little bit with short pitch bowling, which was he dealt with it pretty well. He went back and across and played that well. I mean, he played a blinder innings. It was 51 of 23 balls, 5 sixes in that. So he's not trying to keep the ball on the ground. And I mean, it's good signs for Team India. I think he's put his name up. As you said, the benchmark for consistency, I guess, in T20 cricket, as far as you can push that concept, is 2 good seasons. He had a very good season last year, part of a champion team, a trophy winning team, and he started off on the right note here as well. I mean, the Gujarat Titans are not an easy kind of side to. They've got Rashid Khan, they've got Sai Kishore, who captains the Tamil Nadu team in Ranji cricket. You've got Mohit Sharma, you've got got decent bowling, and you've got Umesh Yadav bowling seam. So, and Azmatullah Omarzai, who played this game and bowled. It's a decent attack. It's not the best attack we play, but I mean, in terms of spin, putting Rashid Khan and Sai Kishore, and Rashid Khan went for quite a few runs in this, I think.
And by the way, did you see Samir Rizvi against Rashid Khan?
Yeah.
2 sixes. I mean, I didn't know too much about this guy. I know CSK paid decent for him, but I think it's great the fact that they're playing him. He said they promoted me ahead of Jadeja. And that was a very clear message to me that you either hit or you get out. And he just said, I went for it from the first ball. And hit Rashid for 2 sixes. I think that was...
he got 14 of 6, which at that stage is like the perfect innings, right?
Basically got them to cross 200, right? That becomes that mental barrier. But did you, just last comment on this game, did you see AB's comment about Shivam Dube, where he said, I feel like Shivam Dube broke free in Chennai, but he didn't feel at home, or I can't remember exactly the words. He just didn't feel at peace or at home in the RCB camp. So I found that interesting. Now, obviously, AB has been talking on his podcast a lot about revealing Kohli's second kid, not talking about RCB culture in the camp with Shivam Dube. But I don't know, maybe it's just a Dhoni and Fleming thing. Maybe RCB has a different culture, but whatever it is, I'm glad Shivam Dube has opened up.
I mean, there's clearly a culture in CSK which allows these young players to blossom. I'm going to give you an example of a Delhi player, right? Tushar Deshpande. He's gone to CSK. He bowled at the death for them last year. Did really well. He's done. I mean, he seems to have come into his own. He's not doing that well this season, but maybe it's early still. But there's something that, I mean, the supportive culture goes a long way, right? And maybe he was not fitting into the camp in RCB for whatever reason. It could be personal reason. It could be people that he was competing for a spot with somebody. We've got all-rounders like Maxi, so maybe he was not getting that slot. Maybe they already had big hitters. RCB's always been stacked with batting, right? Like Kohli, De Villiers, back in the day, Gale, Maxwell, DK, Rahul. So maybe he was not finding his groove, and sometimes it takes a move somewhere else. I mean, we'll talk about the Hardik Pandya move back, which I think you guys didn't cover the MIO versus GT game, but we'll do it with the other Mumbai Indians game later on. He says with a smile on his face, having watched Mumbai Indians dominate IPL cricket for so long.
Perfect segue, because the next match is SRH versus Mumbai Indians. Now, when this game started, firstly, Travis Head was back in, and that's great because he didn't play the first game, which is what I was getting.
You should tell our listeners about what this is if they haven't heard what happened.
So I basically ran through that preview show, and I didn't call out Travis Head because A, we had to run through so many players, and B, I didn't think he would start. Now, maybe it's not a great excuse, but that was my reasoning. I didn't call out Hasranga as well, and I got hate for him too, but Hasranga has now been ruled out officially. So,
and you take credit for that call.
But Travis Head comes in, and of course, he's an explosive player. Before we get into this, I just want to say he kind of came in for Marco Jansen. DJ, what do you think, having seen SRH 2 games in the last week, what do you think happens from here? Because they have given away more than 200 runs. And sorry, I'm juggling this a little bit, but since we're talking about Travis Head coming in, do you see a world in which Markram sits out for Marco Jansen?
Ooh, that's tough, man. I don't know. Do you need to have that with the impact sub? Do you need to have one of them sit out? Can you sub a foreign player for a foreign player? I assume you can, right?
I think I saw that happening, but I'm not 100% sure. But
we should ask Ricky, who knows the rules on the 4 overseas really well. Just got very aggressive about them as well.
But the fact that it's not been happening, let's assume that they're not doing this impact sub situation, right? So I don't know. I feel like Markram is very valuable. I feel like Markram is part of the core team. He's won trophies. He's part of what you call a leadership group. But at the same time, you can't run away from the fact that your bowling is not the best, right? So Marco Jansen adds a lot of value, especially in that power play. I mean, we don't have an answer for it, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, how's the bowling not good? I mean, you've got Bhuvaneshwar, you've got Pat, you've got Umran Malik, you've got someone like Jaydev Unadkat, Shahbaz Ahmed, Mayank Markande. All of these guys have played quite a bit of IPL cricket. So, I mean, Jansen, yes, he brings that tall left arm seam angle. His bowling has fallen away after the World Cup. Let's not forget, after that assault by Rohit Sharma on him at the Wankhede.
Yeah.
His bowling has genuinely fallen away. He's lost confidence in it. So maybe there's an element of that. But Jansen can bat. I think with Justin Langer coming in, Justin Langer is their new coach, right?
No, I think it's...
Justin Langer is the LSG coach, sorry, because he's brought in the other quick. Who's the SRH coach?
I need to check. I think it's Daniel Vittoria.
Daniel Vittoria. Okay, I don't know actually.
No, anyway, it's not.
It's a tough one to say. But I mean, if you can score 277 for 3, do you really need more bowling?
So let's get into that. So Travis had 62 of 24. What a start he gave them. I mean, it was just that blistering start where India had seen him leave off in November, mid-November. Abhishek Sharma comes in. Now this guy, 63 of 23. Out of all the guys who scored to get to this record total of 277, he had the highest strike rate. 7 sixes. 63 of 23, going at 273. I mean, I did not see that coming. And to me, it just got lost in between Head, Markram and Klaasen, right? So Markram played the way he does, 42 of 28. But then Klaasen, oh my God, this guy, 80 runs of 34 balls. I know Steve Smith on Star Sports was trying to decode his game. He just looks like he's got time. He's keeping kind of very stable, keeping his feet planted so that he can pivot where the ball is coming. But the intent is just crazy. And I've not seen this kind of consistent hitting for a long time.
Yeah, different planet, man. He's batting on a different planet right now. It's absolutely insane. The bat speed he's getting through, he's accessing all areas of the ground. I think you and I watched Klaasen in 2018 in South Africa in that pink ODI, and he won the game for them.
Yes, and that was
with David Miller. It was. But this is like he's now taking his game up a notch. And I mean, what they were missing in the last year was this Klaasen finish. He's batting 5-6. He's coming in late in the innings, and he's just exploding from ball one, and it's pretty awesome to watch, actually. I mean, nearly won them that other game. Well, he should have won them the other game the other day, right? When they needed 7 of 4 balls, and they fluffed their lines.
Against KKR, right?
Right at the end. Runs. Yeah, but that was literally all Markram. Not Markram, Klaasen. He went 62 of 18 balls or something. Crazy. Nuts like that. So, I mean, unbelievable batting. It would broke the record for the maximum number of sixes hit in this game. I mean, Mumbai were obviously always going to come out firing, right? And the Tilak Verma Namandhir partnership was pretty awesome to watch.
Wait, before you go there, let's talk about Hardik Pandya on the field while this was going on. So, he's getting booed.
Yeah, so what happened in Mumbai GT? Oh, because that's the game we didn't cover on Sunday, right? He went to Ahmedabad as an ex-Gujarat captain. He got called some pretty awful stuff. I actually think some of that is pretty out of order.
It is, man.
Most of it is out of order. I mean, yes, you can boo a player in jest. I mean, but some of it was getting quite personal, quite nasty.
His wife is getting hate now.
Because
some of the chants.
But the problem is it's from both Gujarat fans who is pissed off by moving to Mumbai, and from Mumbai fans who is pissed off by removing Rohit Sharma from captaincy. So this has been like a hostile takeover gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, but the thing is, I get it. People should be upset. That's just the nature of this situation, right? But at some point, you got to move on, right? Because every player moves franchises. Every player wants to be captain. Every player wants to make more money. The IPL is your only window to make that kind of money. So I'm saying yes.
But why is Pandya getting so much hate for it? Is it because of his attitude or because...
I think it's the attitude. I think it's the fact that he's always injured outside of the IPL window. I think the current India captain has found a lot of love in the last 6 to 9 months. And so he's kind of dethroned him. But the level of booing and, like a stray dog, I think, ran onto the field and people were just, even found that as a way to make a jibe at Pandya. So it is.
But the part of the problem was if you're performing on the field, it's okay. Yeah. They lost the first game against Gujarat after being in a really good position to win. They were like 40 odd of 5 overs and they failed to make that.
Yeah.
With Pandya at the crease, right? And he was at the crease in the last over. He got a few runs, but he came so far down the order. And so if he'd won them that game...
He's opening the bowling when Bumrah should be opening. So he's taking some calls.
It's like under microscope, his captaincy right now.
But remember, nobody takes these decisions in isolation, right? You've got a team management.
And the Rohit being moved to the boundary by him. And
again, like your captain, you're doing what you can. I don't believe Hardik Pandya is moving Rohit as a
power move,
a petty move.
Ego move.
I don't think that's happening.
No one has time for that in T20, to be honest.
Right? So I don't think he's doing that. I want to give him benefit of doubt. But
you're under the lens, right? You're on camera. You're watching Rohit go idhar udhar, little bit lost.
I didn't see it specifically during the game, but I saw everything on social media that where Rohit then in the SRH game started asking him to go to the boundary. So I don't know what happened. Like. Maybe he went and spoke to him and said, I need help. I don't know. He had no idea what was happening during that SRH innings.
But do you think Rohit is just quietly laughing in the background? Sure, after the 277 for 3?
I'm sure he is. But the point is, when Klaasen and all play like that, maybe Rohit could have stopped that. I don't know. I just think it's a lot. So we saw Malinga is also back with Mumbai Indians. I saw some stuff on social media where Malinga and Pandya people are insinuating they have a problem. And I'm just like, I think this is getting out of hand. So Ravichandran Ashwin said it quite nicely, right? He said, Ganguly played under Tendulkar and Tendulkar played under Ganguly. Both of them played under Dravid. All 3 played under MS Dhoni. All 3 played under Anil Kumble. All 4 of them played under MS Dhoni. And MS Dhoni, by the way, played under Virat, who also has played under Rohit. So this is the circle of life with cricket, with captains, with legends. You just got to take it and move on. So I think the hate he's getting is a little bit unreal right now. And I think only his on-field performance is going to stop that. So as we don't need to go into detail, but Mumbai Indians came out all guns blazing, like you said, right? Rohit and Kishan, both striking over 200. Namandhir and Tilak, like you said, also fantastic partnership. 2 young guys really going after the bowling. And Tim David also 42 of 22 went at 190. So when you look at this scorecard, you're looking at Hardik Pandya, who hit 24 of 20 at a strike rate of 120. Now, that's just not acceptable. Forget all the booing, forget everything. That just doesn't look good. So it's a tough one to digest, man. It's not easy for him.
Yeah. I think actually Pandya kept his cool on the field. Though. He was smiling. He was okay. In fact, Travik's head was dropped pretty early on by Tim David. And if that catch had been taken, it could have been a completely different story, right? You don't know how it goes. But Pandya was chill. He didn't seem to be losing his temper. And that, I think, is one good sign. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Like, this guy's probably going to take over the Indian T20 captaincy in the near future, right? So I think we should just calm down a little bit. Of course, you should have your loyalty to your franchise and all of that. That's all good fun. Look at the larger picture. It's all about succession planning. And that I can understand why they brought Pandya back to Mumbai. They're planning for Rohit and to unleash him as a batter. And of course, he's not going to play forever. So they want to plan for the future. And likewise, Indian cricket should also be planning for the future. Yes, not this T20 World Cup, maybe, which I think they've come out and said Rohit will captain. And Rohit has said, yes, Virat, I want Virat at any cost or whatever, right? But the next one, more than likely, will be captained by a Hardik Pandya as the most important person. So let's just take a chill pill and let's move past this little thing that's gone on, and let's not get too personal and too nasty about it. I think that's a bad look for fans of either franchise, to be honest. And everybody else is just sitting around and laughing, right? To be honest, I mean, like you're just like, okay, Mumbai Indians, and the call Ashwin gave, actually, he was like, this team looks unbeatable, other than the fact of internal conflict. It's the unsettling factor. That was his X factor. And that was a great call by him. We must admit that. And we must recognize
it was actually. And remember, Mumbai starts slow, right, in these IPL tournaments. So I think they're going to come back. Sky is still out. I think out for a little longer than expected. So we're waiting to see him. But yes, I have no doubt once they hit the Wankhede, this is going to change. And in fact, tonight's game, Monday as we're recording, is Mumbai versus Rajasthan. So I am going to stay up to watch that. DJ, very quickly, the next one before we take a short break. Rajasthan versus Delhi Capitals.
Skip.
Almost a nothing game.
Don't want to talk.
185. No, we have to talk about one thing. So let's not go into anything in the detail. Let's just talk about Riyan Parag. The guy who is coming at number 4. The guy who everyone has been waiting to mature for a long time. And man, I thought he was spectacular. I thought he played a fantastic knock and single-handedly won them that game. Because without Riyan Parag's knock, Delhi was actually in that game. And I think when you look at the numbers, they won by 12 runs. So it really just speaks volume to me about his game. Sangakkara has spoken about him. I think the fact that they've pushed him up the batting order is a great move. And I think that's what we're going to see more and more, that guys who have been a part of the team and done well and they have a potential, a future promise, teams are going to give them that runway. And I mean, Riyan Parag has cemented his place. Fantastic batting.
Yeah, and from 36 for 3, Delhi fans would have been like, wow, what a start. He played it really well. He played kind of the perfect rescue knock for Rajasthan, right? Where you've got Butler, Jaiswal, and who was the third wicket that they lost?
Samson, I think.
So yeah, so Butler, Jaiswal, Samson, that they've lost all 3 kind of big, huge players for them. And then Riyan Parag comes in, I think suffering from the flu, suffering from, he had fever, he was on antibiotics, and kind of just took the game away from them with this incredible hitting towards the end as well. He took Nokia, who'd made a comeback, well, not a comeback, he was back, right? So he kind of took Nokia apart towards the end of the innings, and along with Shemron Hetmeyer, I think you should give a little bit of credit to the Rajasthan think tank as well, by the way. They put Ashwin up the order. And he kind of got the momentum going. He scored, how much did he get? 29 of 19.
Yeah, he was. And I was shocked when I saw that.
No, but it was perfect because you kind of lengthened the batting order, brought Shemron in towards the end. And it meant that you didn't like Delhi, what we did. We had to bring the batting sub in the first game. Abhishek Porel, because to get enough runs on it. Ashwin is a good enough bat to bat at IPL level and rescue them from that position. So, yeah, I mean, 84 of 45 balls, striking 186. Fantastic knock by Riyan Parag. And then Delhi's chase, it got going, then it stuttered. Then there was a brief revival by Stubbs and Akshar, and Stubbs ended with 44 of 23 with 1 dropped catch in the outfield. It just left you with Rajasthan won by 12 runs, but I mean, at one point, Delhi looked like it could have won the game. At one point, it looked like it was nowhere close to winning the game. It's the same old story for Delhi fans. It was nothing new. So
I think the fact that we've got a win on the table is big news. DJ, with that, we're going to pick up pace in the second half. We're going to take a short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We are very pleased to announce a Daag Wale Moment contest. So the contest is basically you guys who are all playing cricket, diving around, taking catches, diving into your crease. I mean, we see Instagram reels of people playing cricket in mud and playing cricket in rivers and all of that. So what we want you to do is to send us your pictures where you're wearing those stained jerseys with those Sukha Daag with the hashtag Sukha Daag out, and tag Surf Excel India on Instagram and tag One Tip One Hand.
And at the end of that contest, which we'll announce the winner of on the 15th of April episode during the IPL, so tune in then. So it's going to run for about a month. You will have a chance, the lucky winner will have a chance to win Surf Excel Matic Liquid and cricket equipment. So it's a pretty cool contest. So make sure you get your entry in. Don't forget, you need to send us a picture of you wearing those jerseys, clothes, whatever, with those tough dried stains with the hashtag Sukha Dag Out, tag Surf Excel India, and tag us.
Welcome back from the break. So we get into the weekend games, Friday. Now, DJ, you had said this was a boring one, and I agree with you. Bangalore, RCB versus KKR.
No, I didn't say this one was boring.
Then which one was boring?
I said that the LSG PBK's game was boring.
I thought you said both were boring. But anyway, so
RCB's king, man. I'll watch King any day.
And King came to the party once again. RCB hit 182 for 6 in 20 overs. Kohli, 83 of 59. Almost no support beyond that, right? And so,
But he got a lot of hate on social media for that knock.
And that's exactly what I was coming to, because while he was batting, I said he's going to get a lot of hate, and everyone's like, you're crazy. And I said, no, you guys may not agree, my friends, but he's going to get hate. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. So 83 of 59 of 140, with a strike rate of 140. I don't know, man. I think the rest of the team just crumbled around him. Everyone started saying if you bat 20, you need to make 100 at over 150 strike rate. Sure, in practice, on the paper, yes, you should. But the team was crumbling. There was nobody doing anything. Rajat Patidar, my God, he needs runs. If somebody ever needed runs, it's Rapa. Like, that guy just is so low on confidence. But nobody else did anything. And for them to get to 182, now, it was not a winning total, as the next innings told us. But DJ, is that kind of hate justified?
It's never justified, right? Because what's the point of getting so upset about a RCB versus KKR game? But you bat the situation, man. Like, if you've seen the likes of Faf not able to score, Cameron Green struggled, the big hitter Maxi, he didn't get any runs, he got 28 of 19, Rapa, Anuj, and DK is the only guy who got a little bit of momentum batting at 250. I mean, what do you expect it to do?
DK always gets momentum in ICC tournament years, so that's
but he's confirmed he's retiring after this IPL. But he played a great knock, by the way, in the first RCB game, which they won. As I said, Kohli didn't finish the job. DK played a blinder at the end of that game.
Yeah.
But honestly, that game was just put outside the KKR, the RCB remit by the KKR openers, man. Phil Salt, or Salt Filman, as you like to call him. 30 of 20. Sunil Narayan turning back the clock.
Went back 10 years, man.
47 of 22.
I mean, Gautam Gambhir is back. Sunil Narayan is back opening.
What a moment. Gambhir went and hugged Kohli.
Because I watched this on Star Sports, the whole pre-match chatter was about Kohli and Gambhir. And I think after Kohli got his 50, they walked out in the strategic timeout, and Gambhir actually went to him. Don't know what he said. Must have said well played or something.
I think he was talking about his kids, because he kept doing this,
so.
right? Like something like this.
Yeah,
for our listeners, like he was patting like a small child.
I think that happened. Kohli leaned in with the hug, right? The side hug. And so, it was totally not what one was expecting. But yeah, it's good to see, man. Like, I mean, you're always hoping for some Kohli Gambhir fireworks. And then I thought this time Harshit Rana would be the Naveen equivalent, right? Where he's the medium to
villain.
Fuel the fight, right? So it didn't happen. But yes, Sunil Narayan, unbelievable. And there's lots of people saying, I mean, he should just always open, because he doesn't waste balls. He may get out in the first over, or he's going to win you that game in 5 overs, right? And that's exactly what he did. 47 of 22. Everyone else just had to go at a cool, calm, collected pace. Venkatesh Iyer did well, as I think he does, man. Every once in a while, he
and Shreyas Iyer, his Iyer brother, as you called him.
Iyer brother, 39 of 24, with that last couple of boundaries, which got his strike rate up, but otherwise wasn't much to write.
And got my fantasy points up, as I vice captained him.
And then Rinku Singh, as always, stays not out, man. I can't wait to see this guy's average at the end of a few IPL seasons. So good. So DJ, moving on to the boring game now, if you may call it that.
Yeah, but honestly, who schedules like LSG versus Punjab Kings on a Saturday night on a long weekend, man?
Yeah. So I don't know, man. And I had friend over, but none of us watched it. So LSG, firstly,
What were you doing?
we were just chatting then. It was on in the background, but we had no idea what the score was.
Great.
Nicky P walks out to lead the team, and he's captain now. So initially you're thinking, what the hell happened here? But KL Rahul is going to play as an impact sub. So the order of sequences that KL Rahul has announced, I want to play for middle order in the IPL because I have India aspiration. He then gets injured, comes back. He then opens the batting, which was not part of the plan. And the game after that, he's not only opening the batting, he's now not even fielding. Complete disaster, in my opinion. Complete, absolute disaster. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see where this guy is going. I don't know what his plan is. And he's not helping his case because middle order KL Rahul is somebody we all love, right? So he's not helping his case getting into that India squad now. Obviously, you do what's best for the team, but you brought in Padikkal to open. You're still continuing to open. You're not going to give that guy the success chance that he deserves. I don't know. Your thoughts?
Nothing more to add to that, man. I mean, I don't know why he's done this. There's plenty of people that are there to open the batting. Maybe he's got a directive from the franchise owner saying, I don't care about your India aspirations. You need to win LSG a trophy. And this is the best chance that you have. And that's a fair call as well. Like, you can't say that I want to do this for India, so I have personal ambitions doing this. Whereas the franchise says you're best placed over here.
Yeah.
So that tension will always be there, right? Between franchise aspirations and India aspirations. So, but the big story here for me was Nicky P, man. Smashed it. And they
Krunal.
went at, and Krunal, IPL GOAT,
right?
Krunal.
Yeah, so it's
43 of 22.
Yeah.
But they went at the rate of knots in the middle overs. They sacrificed some runs at the back end, but it meant that they got up to like 200. And man, I actually think the second innings gave us literally, yes, we've talked Kohli, yes, we'll talk Thala, yes, we'll talk Pant coming back. But I think the most exciting thing of this IPL actually happened on what I thought would be the most boring game of the season in the second innings of that game. So we should talk about that.
Tell me about that now.
So Punjab Kings comes out, right? And they've got Shikhar Dhawan, Johnny Bairstow, they've got Tujhme Prabh Dikhta Hai, Jitesh Sharma, Liam Livingstone, Sam Curran, big hitters, right? And I call them as like an explosive batting lineup. And they went off. Like their first wicket fell in the 12th over when there were 102 runs. They were on track to chase these runs down. But who comes along but this young guy called Mayank Yadav, Delhi guy. I've not been so excited about the debut of a fast bowler since, and I'm thinking of like maybe Ishant Sharma in 2008 bowling to Ricky Ponting, and I'm showing my age, right? Yes, not even Bumrah, because he was like a freak weird guy, right? Like you didn't like really know what he was doing with his arms and legs. But this guy has a beautiful action. He's got this 21-year-old beautiful action runner, and he's hit 155.8. Indian bowlers are not supposed to be bowling that fast.
In his debut match. So I saw him like Umran Malik speed, but with like a Prasidh Krishna kind of action, very nice and
clean, repeatable, consistent, beautiful action. And the best part, he beat all the 3 wickets that he took. He took the first 3 wickets. He got Shekhar.
No, he got
Bairstow first.
Prabh Simran and Jitesh.
All beaten for pace.
Dude, they
trying to play a horizontal
idea what.
And Bairstow's played like Stark, Patrick Cummins, all of these guys. So it's not like a baby batter.
I think it's what you're expecting, right? They weren't expecting this. And so the number of times the ball just went past the bat, you were late by that fraction of a second because of the pace. Shikhar Dhawan couldn't play it to the point where then you just started, like Shikhar Dhawan just started putting his bat there to take the single, right? To not waste more ball.
It was too exciting.
It was excellent.
Honestly.
I think for me, with all the stuff that's gone on in the last week, this is the highlight, right? For this guy to come out and beat the Punjab, which you call class batting lineup, right?
Yeah.
For pace was fantastic.
Unbelievable. And it was too exciting to watch. And I was like, what a spell. Let's get this guy in for Australia. And then, but even, who knows, he may even be in, because I read an article somewhere that Agarkar wanted to pick him for the England test matches that have just been done. Rishabh Pant ordered him for the Delhi Capitals. So, he's on people's radar.
And Gambhir is the one, I think, who maybe not found him, but who definitely coached him, right, to this point. So, I think it's a good story. I think I just want to caution to say, don't get ahead of yourselves. I think it's time to play him enough in IPL and watch him. But just
but like
develop this guy.
Umran Malik, you still felt he lacked a bit of control. Exactly. He wasn't steady. He was fast, but he was not. Yeah. This was like, it was different.
Yeah, it was different. This was. So I'm going to watch him very closely this IPL because he's going to play every game. And let's see. Let's hope that works out. But DJ, let's move on. So we come to the Sunday doubleheader. First game, not much to talk about. I'm going to run through it quickly. Sunrisers bat first, get 162. Now, Ravi Shastri, for all the fantasy fans, right? Ravi Shastri goes out and said, this surface is an absolute belter. It looks like a road. There's massive runs. And then you think Sunrisers at 277 last time. So I loaded up with all batters. And the pitch just started slowing down so quickly in the middle of that power play that they were just not able to kind of move on. They got only 162. And that too, there was like Abdul Samad went for it at the end, got over 200 strike rate. Without that, this was like a 130, 140 performance. So Gujarat now always depending, they do depend a lot on Shubman Gill. And I think his role is transforming as well to make sure he's there long enough because he has the class to get the big scores. But overall, I think quite easily done. Saha 25, Gill 36. Sai Sudarshan, man, he's becoming one of my favorites. He and Tilak are two guys I just watch out for. Like, I think they're both very, very good. And David Miller came to the party. So just before this game, I was thinking, at what point does David Miller show up? Because when you've lost Hardik Pandya, he becomes that much more important, right? So, so overall, to me, I think good performance. They did it in the 20th over, but I think it was a cool, calm, collected performance. And Gujarat, I think so. You can't help but think that Sunrisers got off to a great start, but if I'm not mistaken, they've played 3 and lost 2, right? So something has got to change.
Same as Delhi.
But Delhi we were expecting. That's the difference. And
you weren't expecting Sunrisers?
No, I was expecting Sunrisers to be top of the table this year. So, getting into since you mentioned Delhi, to me, any game that Delhi wins is a bonus. I think the way I see the sequence of event happening is you win 1 or 2 in the middle, you get eliminated, and then you come to the party to ruin other people's plans. Right? That's how I see the season going. So, Prithvi Shaw is
big news. And
he should have been there. We talked about maybe Ricky Ponting wanting to signal to him that you've not got a permanent place, fight for your slot. But Prithvi Shaw is back, and I think Kuldeep was injured, so still not the ideal team in my opinion. But with Mukesh coming in, Prithvi coming in versus that first game, definitely looks better. I still feel Marsh needs to bat at 3. He dropped to 4 this time, but let's talk about that, right? So Prithvi Shaw gets off to 43 of 27. David Warner looked great, 52 of 35. And
what a catch by Tikshana.
By Patirana. Fantastic catch. But yes, the momentum that they set, you suddenly felt like, okay, we've got a chance. But our problem has always been that middle order, right? So I think the only thing to talk about is Rishabh Pant. He was back. I think that was great news. I think he started off slow. And then there was this one over where he just decided that I am, this is it, right? This is the make or break for me. If I don't do it in this over, it's finished. And Patirana was bowling really well, so it's hard to score off him. But Rishabh just went like 6-4, 6-4. And I think, got his 50 across the line. And generally, I think got the team to a total where you felt, all right, this is safe to the point that, we can take this game very deep. DJ, just good to see Rishabh back.
Of course, he's Captain Pant, and it's been a long time, and you could see he was frustrated when he got out in the previous game against who were you playing in the game before where he cut it?
Rajasthan, I think.
Was it Rajasthan? Where he cut it in the Tristan Stubbs game was Rajasthan, yeah. And he hit the hoarding with his bat.
Yeah.
And all
And
this.
even the previous game against Punjab, he was very upset on the way.
Yeah, because some haters would be like, "Oh, he's not a good T20 player anyway," and like even before his injury, he wasn't great. He was okay at Test matches.
He wasn't.
I don't know. Some haters could have said that, but I mean, he's been the IPL. I think he's been the top scorer for Delhi a little while back. I like that he came in at 3. I want him to bat at 3. I want him to get more game time. I think that was not a bad shout. And good to see Prithvi Shaw back, man. Like he's struggled. We've seen Ponting drop him. We've seen him being mocked for things that are non-cricketing related. I mean, when batting's your problem, you don't drop a batter, right?
Exactly.
The other thing was Khalil Ahmed with the ball.
Yeah,
and
so
2 wickets early on. Big difference, right?
He really got stuck in, right? And I think Khalil Ahmed at the start and at the end are two very different. Yeah, with his missed call. He didn't do the missed call this time. I think he's realized everyone's on WhatsApp now. Nobody's dialing. But yeah, he did a great job. The CSK openers have been a big part of their success in the last 10, 15 years. And the minute he got them out cheaply, I mean, Rachin, he was just playing the ball and the ball was moving so far away. So he did a great job there. Mitchell and Rahane, I think, were fantastic for what they brought to the table after.
They did try and
They really did.
Build.
And then Mukesh Kumar, who's now becoming this death bowler specialist, which I hope is being communicated to him because he didn't bowl till like the 14th over. He's thrown the ball and then he bowls beautifully.
3 for 2 at one point.
Totally lost. And then after bowling that, they didn't bowl him. So Mukesh Kumar finished off in this 20-over game without completing his full spell. Something doesn't make sense. But long story short, let's talk about the tiger who is still Zinda. Thala.
I mean,
DJ, take it away, man.
I think just before this episode, you were like, we should talk about how Rishabh is back, how Thala is back. I'm like, Thala didn't go anywhere. He won the last IPL. And dude, just watching this was like being transported back to being, I don't know, like 20, 21 years old, where the long haired MS Dhoni with the, because the weird thing is that he'd colored his hair back then as well, right? It was like the same color. So now his hair is white. So he's colored it for that. But his hair used to be that reddish orange back then as well when he made his debut against Bangladesh, got run out for 0, and then against Pakistan and Sri Lanka and played all those innings. But this was like, yes, the game was done. But he comes in first ball 4 and the roof goes off the stadium and the commentators are losing it. And yes, of course, a lot of it's the hype of the IPL, but just the shots that he played over cover. There was one-handed 6 of Nortje. And man, like, it looked like he had not been away. It's the first time he's batted since IPL 2023, the final. He hasn't batted so far. You've seen him in the dressing room, like practicing stuff. Yeah. And we've had Ashwin say, so do you think he's just like letting other people go up the order or whatever? He's been dribbling me. But what a response. 37 not out of 16 balls. And man, it was just vintage. It was like, there's a T20 World Cup coming up, and if you don't have finish,
you don't have enough space in that team for everyone as it is.
But man, it was goosebumps watching that. I was out last night and I was watching it on my phone while we were on our way to dinner, and oh my God, it was just unbelievable. Just all the feels packed into one for all his fans who he said he'd give one more season to. It could not have got off to a better start right now. So yeah, very, 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 very pleased.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it was great. It was late my time. I stayed up. I watched some of his sixes and I almost went to sleep forgetting that Delhi won the match because it was all about MS Dhoni.
Unbelievable. Varun, we should also do fantasy rap, but we should also replug the contest that we had on the Parsibi Chopra episode. So do you want to do fantasy, and I'll let the listeners know about the contest?
Yeah, my fantasy, unfortunately, DJ is not logging in right now. So we'll cover that in the next one. But
is that because you're not doing so well, or are you doing okay?
I think I'm doing better than you.
But you have used more subs, is what I would say.
I mean, let's see what you do with all those saved subs. But for now,
that's the key, right?
I'm doing pretty well. But yeah, we'll do a fantasy update soon.
No, we should. So let me do the contest chat. So, guys, of course, as you know, on the Parthivi Chopra episode, we asked you to send in pictures of you guys wearing jerseys with the hashtag Sukha Dag out. So, tag Surf Excel India and One Tip One Hand on Instagram and send in those pictures. And you could have a chance of winning some cricket equipment as well as a supply of Surf Excel Matic. So, do write in. It'll be a pretty cool contest. It's running for the next few weeks. So, make sure you get those pictures in. Any pictures of you wearing cricket jerseys, football jerseys, whatever. It's about getting those tough dried stains out. So again, write in. It's Surf Excel India and One Tip One Hand with the hashtag Sukha Dag out. So yeah, that's the contest.
Awesome. Super. Thanks for that, DJ. And yeah, we're going to wrap this week's episode. There's so much happening in the IPL. It's almost hard to keep track of what all to cover, what to not cover. Yeah, we're trying to do our best to cover all these games, add in the social media element, add in the on-field, the off-field. And so, yeah, do subscribe, give us a few comments, tell us what you like, tell us what you think can be better. Apart from my Sunrisers. Apart from that, tell us about anything else that you like or dislike about the show. But that's the show this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in.